How do I look good on camera? What the freak do I say? How do I schedule the time? How do I not
Right.
spend every living hour of my day on social? How do I actually talk to the right, like there is a lot of moving parts that I think a lot of business owners don't realize till they get into it, that it is more complicated than just shooting a video and hitting post, because like
Yeah.
that just doesn't work anymore.
They look at those things as that's not the job that I signed up
That's
for. Like,
right.
that's not I
I
have to
have a
keep an
job
eye
to
on.
do and it's not social media influencer.
The Business Owner's Journey. I'm Nick Berry, and I've got real business owners telling their real stories, sharing their real lessons and strategies so you don't have to figure it all out on your own.
Lindsey Anderson is a social media sales expert, best-selling author, and CEO of Build and Monetize Agency. What does it actually take to turn your online presence into actual sales? Is it fancy content, an enormous follower count, or is there another angle entirely? Today, we break down what actually works when it comes to social media strategy for business owners. Expect to learn how to turn those lurkers into paying clients. What most business owners get dead wrong about content, whether AI is killing authenticity or helping it scale. Her take on why engagement is more powerful than posting, how to spot a misaligned audience and then fix it, what she learned about going viral on Netflix, the best and worst ways to generate high quality leads, how she builds intimacy at scale using AI, what every business owner needs to know about virtual networking, and how to stop wasting time on content that doesn't convert. Enjoy this show with Lindsey Anderson. How did that come about? And what was the experience like?
Yeah, so I was on a Netflix show called The Trust, and the best part about it was how they found me was actually through social media. So I'm a social media expert. I've been posting on social media for the last 20 years. So one day in my inbox is, and I'm like, I wasn't looking to be on TV. Yes, I love Big Brother, okay, but I wasn't looking. That's not really what I do. But it was like, hey, Lindsay, we have a reality show you would be perfect for. Do you have a passport? Can you leave in 3 weeks? I checked a couple things like, can my kids watch it? It's not a dating show, right? And they said yes. So off to the Dominican Republic, I went to be on this Netflix reality show. Now, it was a first season. And so that's probably why a lot of people haven't heard of it, because they're like trying to get their footing. And so I was on the first season of this show. The premise for your audience is 14 strangers from all walks of life put in a beautiful mansion in the Dominican Republic with an infinity pool. And basically, there was $250,000 in the middle. And they said, you guys can all get along and split the money, or you can vote each other out and take home more for yourselves. So chaos ensued. Things happened. As a spoiler alert for those who didn't watch it, I actually ended up, and I was so happy about this, I actually ended up being in 7 out of the 8 published episodes. So I was voted out in episode 7, and it was dramatic, and it was a backdoor, and it was awesome. And ultimately, I was in 7 out of 8 episodes. And those last 2 episodes I were in were actually named after me. So
Really?
ultimately, being on Netflix, I think it was a home run for me.
Yeah. So it sounds like the experience it went the way that those things tend to go.
Yeah. Yeah, it was TV, right? Like
Yep.
you're definitely like, first of all, I am as important. It was very obvious and kind of like weird. You're as important on camera as like the camera guy that nobody knows that just started a date. Like you're just a cog in the wheel, and you're a hamster in a house, and they're like setting up situations and like not feeding you and not giving you the sleep and recording you 24/7 to like make some things happen for sure.
Mhm.
So I did not walk home with the 250. I did not walk home with the 250, but ultimately, being on that kind of platform, worldwide platform, millions and millions of viewers, I got hundreds of social media comments, thousands of new followers, and like the social media side of that was actually really interesting if you want to go there.
But this was just in like 2024, right? So I mean,
Yeah,
this is recent. Yeah.
very
Okay.
recent, very recent. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk about how did that spill over into social media?
Yeah, so suddenly the show, so you record and then it's not for like Netflix ignores you for 9 months. They're like, "We'll let you know." Like that's it. Like you have no idea if it's a year or 2 years. We'll let you know. Thanks for the video. Okay? So 9 months later, they contact, they're like, "The show's coming out." And so And like within the 2 weeks, the show came out. It trended #1 on Netflix for over 3 weeks. There was like a famous host. We had billboards in Times Square and LA. So it was like this big situation. So my social media is flooded. And I've been posting on social media for the last 20 years as a business owner. And I thought I had like a handle on social, but posting like a business owner is definitely different than posting like an influencer, which is more what is going on there. Now, this speaking of that, it was really interesting because the 14 people I was actually surrounded by on the house, many of them were legitimate social media influencers. They had followings that far outnumbered mine by far. But what was interesting was talking with them in the house. I had a smaller social media following, but I was actually the only one making money because like they were chasing the influencer dreams. They didn't know how to monetize. They thought if I was just in front of enough people, people will throw their money at me. And this was like not the case. Okay, not the
Mhm.
case.
So did you
But
happen to leave there with a handful of new clients that were the other
well, I mean,
contestants?
I felt like I liked all of them, and we're all friends except for I would maybe one or two of them would not want me to be their friend maybe at this point, but
Mhm.
like I am very open. I thought they were all awesome. We were just playing a game, but
Yeah.
the show comes out, so my social media is flooded, and here's the interesting part. Okay, is that all of the people in the whoever watched it, strangers, we all watched the same 8 hours of TV. And yet, okay, half, and it was almost half the people are like, you're the worst person I've ever met. I really hate you. You were horrible on that show. And the other half were like, you're just like me. You are awesome. You should have won. You're
Just like
amazing. It was like half and half, right? Nothing more terrifying than waking up every morning, uh, going to Reddit and seeing your name as like the headline on Reddit threads. Like it is terrifying. But my takeaway from all of that I just shared was this. It was like they don't know me. They all saw the same 8 hours. It was obvious that their judgments were coming through their perspective. So the people who hated me, I reminded them obviously of some ex-girlfriend that broke their heart, their mom that they weren't talking to. I was triggering my tone or my look or whatever was triggering some shit in them. And then the other people, right? Same thing. Whatever their life experience it was very clear to me. It was filtered through that. And so it was a really interesting learning experience from that point of view that like ultimately you just need to be showing up doing what you know is best, like living your life for your virtues and what you think that you should do. And like everyone's just going to judge you no matter what anyway. So you may as well just live for yourself. So
hmm
ultimately, that's what I came to.
You said you've been doing social media for over 20 years. What drew you in to social media and the way that it was then? Because that
Yeah.
was different.
It
20
was
years ago
crazy
was
when
different.
Facebook came out. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was crazy.
Yeah. What got your attention? How did and pulled you in?
Yeah, so I've been an entrepreneur at heart from the beginning. I didn't want to babysit. I wanted to run the babysitters club. I always have new business ideas. And so when I went to college, I went into a major that was both marketing and computers so that I could make websites on my own without needing someone else and like really make all of my visions a reality. And so that became my business. And what I have found over the last 20 years and what my real passion is that when you're a business owner, the number one pain point, at least the way I see it, is client generation. How do I get consistent leads and clients? And like if you can't, you're out of business. You're staying up nights. You're worried. You can't make that income. Like it is the number one pain point, and it's something that doesn't have a clear answer for a lot of people. And so before social media, because I think Facebook's only been out like 19, maybe 20 years, before that, we were doing like SEO and we were guerrilla marketing and we were doing reach outs and we were trying to do some emails and stuff like that. But then social media came on and you could really start connecting for realsies with people without having to like meet them face to face. And it became a real catalyst for building high quality relationships. And so to solve the problem of client acquisition, social media for me back then and now is like the number one way to do this.
Uh-huh. What was your business then when you started
I was
out?
doing web development.
Okay. Yeah. So I guess this really did change your entire world. It went from almost being a one-way conversation
Yes.
to really opening the door to being able to go back and forth and like shorten that feedback loop So
That's
when you're
right.
trying to get dialed in on like what is the pain point, what will resonate with them, you find out faster.
So fast, so much
Hmm.
faster than ever before, and it solved my client generation problems. I also had client generation problems. Like, I've been there where everyone has been, at several times in my business journey. And so client generation, I'm just so passionate about it.
And so your audience now is primarily like business leaders who are trying to put together their own social media presence, or maybe leverage their online presence more for business development. Is that
For
fair?
sales. Yeah. So I
Okay.
work with a lot of coaches, consultants, and experts, as you mentioned. But I also serve like a lot of any service based business owner who needs a social media presence, but not just like a random social media presence, but one that generates sales. So I have a sales system that I help my clients with. So I actually end up helping a lot of real estate agents, insurance agents, therapists, doctors, those sort of things to have a strong social media presence that leads to sales. It's
Okay.
all about sales. It's not about hiring a VA and just being a presence out there. That's not
Right.
enough.
Anything in particular that's drawn you to them?
What has drawn me to them is that the system that I teach and the way I do social media, it it plugs that. It is a perfect fit for those individuals. So the more experience I got, it was like, oh, this isn't for like e-commerce people, and it's not for like, all these random people. I know who I can serve, and I've served enough of them that when they come to us, we can plug and play and actually generate results for them. So that's my focus.
So I read something that you wrote. You were talking about your audience. They don't have the time, desire, or expertise to execute a proper social media strategy, and they don't want more random posts. They're looking for something that's structured that will get an ROI. And I read that and I was like, I'm guessing that the people who need your solution, when they hear that, they're like, that's me. Right. There's
Yeah.
no uncertainty about it. They know that's what they're looking for. I've been that person.
Yeah, there's a real pain point there, right? Like, social
Absolutely.
media is a pain. It is painful. There's there's like tech things and how do I look good on camera? What the freak do I say? How do I schedule the time? How do I not spend every living hour of my day on social? How do I actually talk to the right, like, there is a lot of moving parts that I think a lot of business owners don't realize till they get into it, that it is more complicated than just shooting a video and hitting post, because like
Yeah.
that just doesn't work anymore.
Well, they generally, I think, guilty here, but they look at those things as that's not the job that I signed up
That's
for. Right?
right.
That's not part of the job.
That's right.
But now it is. To some degree, it is for just about everybody. So now it's, well, how do I figure out how to execute? How do I do those things and fulfill what's needed in that aspect of my job when I do have like a bigger overarching uh, objective, something, that I
I
have to
have a
keep an
job
eye
to
on.
do and it's not social media influencer. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Nor do I want to be one. Yeah.
What are the people, the audience that profile, but who is still resistant to accepting that this is part of the job now? What
Yeah.
are they telling themselves?
That they don't need a social media presence,
Yeah. How
that
are they justifying it?
yeah, that they'll find leads somewhere else, that their relationships are justifying their lead gen, that maybe they rely on paid ads, maybe they're relying on SEO. All of those are great. They have SEO, you have relationships, you have paid ads, you have doing nothing. Like, these are your options for lead gen. You have guerrilla marketing, which is boots on the ground. But my takeaway on that is, because I do all of those things for my customers, is without a good solid organic, like with a good solid organic social media presence, all of those work 10 times better. All of
Totally.
them. Because
Hmm.
everyone's checking you out. The algorithms know like who to show you to. Like, it is so
Yeah.
perfect. It even knows if I like went to their office, it will then show a video of mine. Like, I know we don't want to say they're spying on us, but like, they are. Like, the algorithms just know.
Yeah. It's fine.
Yeah, they just know. They know everything. They know every DM. They know every word. They know where my location, and it's in their best interest to make that as relevant as possible. So if you were just at this doctor's office, I'm going to show you this video.
Hmm.
It just is, whether or not you're following them or not.
That's the thing that I think you got to remember is they want to go to work for you. I mean, their
Yeah,
best interests are not that far misaligned with yours. So like
that's
we can
right.
fear it. We need to be aware of it, but it's like Google wants to work for you. It wants to put you in front of your audience, but it can't do that if they don't know anything about you.
Amen.
So you have to give them something to work with, instead of digging your heels in and fighting against it.
And your competitors are doing it. So, like, do as you will, and then with AI, even more. Like, you're gonna get left behind. Ta-ta. Best of luck with your relationships, but still
Mhm.
your competitors will be ahead of you on that too.
So what can you tell me about like the sales system that you put together? Like what's your as much of the secretness of your recipe as you can give?
Yeah. So Nick, here's the thing. I don't have secrets. Okay. Like my goal is to help every business owner generate high quality sales. Period. So I always do lots of free stuff. But ultimately, most business owners feel like social media is me posting videos, crossing my fingers and hoping for the best. And that is not how you generate clients on social media. Okay. I have a 4-step system. So here it is. It's called the social media sales machine. So the first step is content. Of course, content is part of this. That is like, that's what's running it. That's how you're attracting ideal customers. But that is only one step of a 4-step system. The second piece, where most business owners do not do this, is engagement. So if you're having a VA, or if you're like, oh, you're the youngest person in my office, you speak social media, post for us.
My
Okay.
niece, you can do that.
Yeah, my niece is young. She
Yeah.
speaks social media. That doesn't make them a marketer, by the way, okay? But engagement is building those relationships. So if you're actually not interacting on any of those platforms with people, you will get nowhere. You will get nowhere. So I like to say in that engagement piece is spending a good 30 minutes a day with intent of getting to know people. You're connecting with your ideal customer. You're starting conversations with your ideal customer. You're responding to people who liked and hearted your stuff, and you're building something there by interacting. So engagement cannot be left out. I treat engagement like my 30-minute workout in the morning. I don't want to do it, but I know all of the benefits that come from a consistent 30 minutes. And that's
Hmm.
just nurturing relationships on social. So that's
Hmm.
engagement. The third step in the social media sales machine is going to be convert. And so even if they're watching your videos, even if someone watches all of your videos and loves everything you do, and even if you've talked to them on the DMs, does not mean they're just going to throw their money at you. So a lot of people feel like, yay, you're watching my videos. Now buy stuff from me. This will not happen. It does not happen. Won't happen. Okay. Pipe dream. So you got to have a conversion step. So how do I actually get people off of social and talking to me or doing something? So uh, probably the easiest way to do this is making sure you include what I call next step marketing. You want to give people, I like this video. Maybe I want to know more. What is the next step? Because ultimately, people on social media, they're just like young children. Okay. You have to spoon feed them. They're not going to look you up. They're not going to think past the next cat video they're on. So you have to like tell them what that next step is right there in the post. And so all that looks like is something as simple as if you want, if you like what I wrote, you basically like, maybe I'm doing something on how to get more sales from social media. Then I would say, want my secret system for getting more sales on social media? Comment the word social below and I'll send you a free resource.
Hmm.
I don't say, DM me something that you have to think about. I don't assume they're going to do anything. I tell them exactly what keywords. So they don't even have to think about it. They can get onto the alien videos that they were watching already on YouTube, and they have left me a comment. And now I know that one person was interested in what I have to say, and I can follow up with them on a DM. I can send them that free resource. I can actually convert. So whatever
Hmm.
that conversion piece is for you, that's just an example. And then, but you got to do that. They're not just going to reach out. Okay. And then finally, the fourth piece is amplify. So once you figure out what's working, how do I amplify that? What videos are actually working? What engagement is actually working? What little pieces in this whole big social media system is working? Amplify those, figure out what's not working that great, testing some other things, and then suddenly you have yourself a system.
It's keeping them well fed and things daisy chained together
That's right.
tightly enough that you can like draw them along. They can break free if they choose to, but
Yes.
um, we're not putting things out there in the hopes that they're going to chase you down and force you to take money and
Yeah,
figure
force
out.
me to
Yeah.
take some money, yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, and I mean that's kind of I've been guilty of this too. Yeah, we treated it like that sometimes. Like
Totally.
like we expect them to come and find us and
It's
pin us
easy,
down and
right?
say, your stuff, your information is so good, Nick Barry. Like you are
I
going to take
know.
this. You're gonna take this money.
I love, Nick, that you said that because most people that I work with, like, you feel like, because it comes from your soul, right? Like, you're making content, you're passionate about what you're posting about, you're passionate about your work, so you feel like they'll feel that or they'll reach out to you or they must like you if they watch 10 of your videos, but people's
Hmm.
focus is just not, they just won't search you, they won't search you out. They just won't.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's so many of those assumptions that, like, if you just are a little bit active, you start to see that your perception of things is just not really that accurate. And there's that part. And another thing that I think it continues to amaze me is the people that you hear from who you've not received any sign anywhere about their existence. And then they reach out finally with a message and they're like, I've been following you for however long. I love your information. And they're like a perfect fit, for your ICP, right? It's just somebody who just didn't, they weren't somebody who clicked like, they weren't somebody who did all the comments. They're just lurking and here they are. Right.
It's
And so
crazy.
when you think that it's crickets, it's probably not crickets.
Hello, Netflix reaching out to me, right? Like, Nick, what you're saying, just serving hundreds of customers. This is the case. It's not the people liking and commenting that buy from you. That's the craziest part. Like sometimes they do, but ultimately, those clients are the ones that are passively watching. So that's why you have to be consistently out there because you do not know.
And then the ones who are the are commenting and engaging, the reason that it's so important that you perpetuate that is because they are the ones that are helping you get the reach to get in front of those lurkers, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah, and it looks good, right? Looks
mhm.
good too. Yes, but they're also probably part of your community. Maybe they will be buyers, but they're also, and I learned this from Netflix. We'll go back to that. People read the comments, Nick. So that's even more content for your videos, you know?
Mhm. In the last year, 2 years, AI has gotten really, I mean, everybody's using AI, right?
I love it.
And where does AI land with you in your system and the strategies that you put in place?
Okay, first of all, I have to ask you a question. What
Okay.
is your AI of choice? What are you using these days?
I use ChatGPT and Claude about the
Okay.
same.
Nice, nice. Okay,
Yeah.
I was just curious. I was curious what team you were on. I'm on Team ChatGPT.
You know what? I'm on the team because I feel like they ebb and flow so much. It's, one day, ChatGPT is like really helpful, and the next day it's garbage. So I'll just move to the other. Like
Yeah.
I'm transient at the moment.
Nice, nice, nice. That's
Yeah.
also a great place to be. So to answer your question, so the way that I've seen it is, yeah, I call it the bot apocalypse, right? Like AI has now overtaken social media. You don't know, like, I don't know if you've been on your TikTok feed, but half of the people, I'm like, is that a real person or is that like a computer? Like, it's really hard to tell. So I will say this is that if you're not embracing AI, you're gonna get left behind because like this is where it's going. But how it applies to us and what I do for my customers is it plays a really big role. And I'll tell you why. Because previously, AI and we would run social media campaigns, it would take hours and hours and hours to create the content that speaks to the ideal client. Because actually, effective marketing on social media is all about nuance. Like the nuance of your ideal client and what their problems are and how they're saying it and the words you're using. And so we'd have to put several hours into doing that. So we'd have to charge our customers for that time. But
Hmm.
now has become a big part of our system. So what we do is we will interview our clients for an hour a month. We will use AI to insert highly relevant prompts. So our prompts are for our customers are 3 to 400 lines long. Like we know what to feed the AI to get this nuanced approach out. And now we can serve our clients with a very satisfying price point and get better results because we're meeting AI. We're co-creating with AI instead of just depending on humans. And so it
Mhm.
has allowed us to effectively help our customers even more and take that 1 hour interview and create 30 days of high converting content that doesn't sound like a bot, that sounds like them, that gets posted and is highly, highly relevant.
So I think the key there is having that true, unique subject matter at the heart of it. Like that single source of truth stays, like there's this thread of that stays through all of that content if you do it
I love
well,
the
right?
way that you said that.
So you can use the AI to splinter it out, but because it was derived from this source of truth that was unique and from an actual like a human expert, then the value, it stays with those pieces of content more so than if someone just goes to ChatGPT and says, write me a, blog or
Generic
write something
post.
on this one thought that I had. I love the way you're using it. That's something we do, something similar to that with the podcast. And it's having that humanness, that knowledge, that subject matter expert at the center of it, and being able to like keep that DNA infused into the content is the key.
Agree. I usually, I call it my chat GPT or my AI rule is 20-60-20. So 20% is the prompts and that DNA that you talk about, what you feed ChatGPT, the specifics. ChatGPT will do a good 60%, and then you want to get a little bit more humanness on the other side for that last 20. And then,
Uh-huh.
but it will take 60% of the work, which is freaking amazing.
Mm-hmm. It's doing a lot of the refining of the original content into additional pieces. So that's almost a different category of content than I would call like AI generated content.
Definitely. It does not seem like generated content. Yeah. And that's what you want because it's about intimacy, right? Generating clients, at least the way that I do it, especially high ticket stuff like real estate and insurance stuff, it's about intimacy. So
Mm-hmm.
you don't want to be a bot because you can't be intimate with a bot. I mean, at least not yet.
Not yet
Some
that we
people
know
are.
of,
Yeah,
right?
I don't know. There's some
Right.
movies about it.
Not in this, like not what we're doing. Let me know of. Huh. So where do you think social media is going with the trend AI and even outside of AI? What's
Yeah,
the evolution look like?
yeah, so I mean, it's definitely gonna be it's gonna be computer generated and those sort of things. Like the algorithms are gonna take over. Like even because we run a lot of Facebook ads or Meta ads as well in my agency, and even Facebook in their terms of service will say 80% of people who click on your ad could be a bot. So like, there's just a lot of computers out there. So the way I approach social media, where I think the real opportunity is for business owners is to not go after, I got to make content that catches the eye and is sexy, but instead it is content that helps you build high quality relationships at scale. So most people, uh, making easy sales, like you go to a live event, maybe you go to a conference or a networking event, and then you build this rapport and you can get clients pretty easily that way. The way I like to use social is take that kind of interaction and bring it to social. So I do what's called virtual networking. I'm getting to know people on social media without having to go to a networking event. I can do it in my jammies every day and scale it. And so I think approaching social media person to person, these are real people on the other side. There's a real Netflix producer on the other side. There's real business owners or whoever you're trying to reach on the other side and approaching it from a personal view and having conversations in the DMs and you connecting with people and you responding as a human. I think that is a real opportunity, at least for service based business owners, when it comes to where social media is going.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
People.
I mean, I hear people who are like, maybe I want to say coming around to that, but they probably aren't coming around. It was probably apparent to them from the beginning. Like there's an opening there, but I think that's the minority from just anecdotally what I'm seeing. And it
Totally.
seems like a lot of people are just kind of like, I'm just going to avoid the whole like world of bots and people who are pounding my inbox with stuff I didn't ask for. Is my experience, is that is that close enough to the reality that you're seeing? It's 10 to 1. Everybody, people who are avoiding it versus the ones who are leaning into it.
Well, the people who work with me are leaning into it. So, I know that. And a lot of people are looking for another way because just this generic posting and thinking that more content is what is needed and not this personal touch and not approaching it that there's real live people on the other side, it just doesn't work. Like, again, my Netflix influencer people that I was surrounded by, they're just not making the money.
Mm-hmm.
They're not. Like, people don't throw money at you. They don't throw money at me just because I was on Netflix. Even if they were business owners, even if they did like me, they're still not throwing their money at me, even though millions of people saw that. I had to know how to use that visibility to actually generate clients.
So you just did a master class, right?
Yeah, as I mentioned, I'm passionate about telling people, so I'm always giving a master class. So maybe once a week, I'm giving a master class on that. So yeah, lindsaya.com/workshop will always be my next upcoming workshop. I just want to empower business owners with, like, this might sound harsh, but like the truth about what it takes to generate clients on social, because content is not enough.
I don't think that sounds harsh at all. I think the truth, there are a lot of people who are looking for the truth right now. And I think social media is something where it's been really hard to find the truth. There've always been a lot of people who are willing to tell you, like, you give me that money and I'll tell you how to get more, to make more money off of your social media. But
It's crazy how much, you can get these companies to get fake followers and get fake views. Like, it's hard to even know what's real at all. So, like, the promises people make, like, sure, you can get, I had a customer who had 50,000 followers on Instagram. He's a health coach because he was doing the workout of the day. Okay. So every day, very consistent, 50,000 followers, zero customers, even though he had 50,000 followers. And it's because they didn't even know what he did. He wasn't producing his authority. He wasn't even connecting with them. They just kind of liked his workout of the day. And you think that would be enough, but it
Mhm.
is not. What he was missing, like that workout of the day, it was consistent content. It was drawing in followers, but not those followers were not his ideal client. His
Yeah.
ideal client was somebody who didn't really care about the video of the day. They didn't have the time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we did the 1 hour recording session with him a month, and the content we produced based on that 1 hour recording session was 3 videos, one well-positioned post, and a shareable that positioned him as an authority and shared with his audience what he actually did and the results he could get. And the second you start sharing results and people can see themselves in the client stories you share, they start buying from you.
Okay. So he maybe had a funnel in place. It was just horribly misaligned. Is
Yeah,
what it sounds
no
like.
one was reaching out. He was just getting a lot of followers and a lot of comments.
Yeah. Okay. That
That
makes sense.
they all liked fitness, but that was about all they had in common,
Yeah.
right? But ultimately, he wanted to go after. He was more in the entrepreneurial space. He wanted to hit these busy entrepreneurial people who wanted to do a half an hour workout, not go to the gym, and get results. That's what he wanted.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not what his content was saying.
Yeah.
But you think it would, right?
Yeah.
I'm a workout guy. Here's the workout.
He had just a list of general fitness enthusiasts who maybe
Yes.
liked his style.
And the
Okay.
crazy thing was, we start posting for him, his views start going way down, right? He starts biting his nails, and I have to be like, dude, those guys were not buying from you. So then it goes down for maybe 2 months. Okay. And it sucks, no doubt. Then you get momentum. And instead of just random enthusiasts following you, you actually get these entrepreneur people that you were talking to this whole time.
You have to spend a lot of time managing expectations, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, one of the things I say is, like, marketing is not magic, guys. Like, but we have a system, right? Like, it's an iterative approach to marketing. There's stuff in your marketing that is working. Knowing what those KPIs are, what to know to fill in the gaps. So you're not just like, well, I saw this LinkedIn ad, I guess I'll try LinkedIn. Oh, LinkedIn doesn't work. Screw that. I think I'll try TikTok. Like, this is not what you want to be doing because you're starting over.
Or the guy in my mastermind group is doing such and such on YouTube. And I'm
Yeah,
going to
oh
try
gosh,
that.
Nick,
Like,
you're hurting me, right? Or yeah, he has a member I hate this. He has a membership site where he charges $49 and he's making $30,000 a month. It's like, you don't even know. You have no idea.
yeah,
That's what it looks like on the outside because his Facebook group has, 200 people in it. But how many are free? Where did he get them? Does he have some ultimate lead source? Like, you have no idea.
you have no idea.
So yeah, it's annoying. You've been there, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I know. And I'm a big proponent of peer groups. But with clients and I'm telling them, like, you've got to remember, use your judgment. You've got to be a critical thinker when you go into these groups, because your peers, you're going to have people who are well-meaning, who are very savvy, who may be doing some really good things, but that doesn't mean that it's the best thing for you to do. So please, you've got to use your filters.
You are not them. And there is stuff you do not know about every single person,
Yeah. Yep.
So do not, just from the outside, don't be like, I also want that marketing strategy. Yeah.
Lindsey, this is fantastic. I really appreciate it.
The best time to start on social media was 20 years ago, just like the tree quote. But the next best time is right now. It's not too late. It is the best way to get leads. Even if you're getting leads in other ways, this will, even cold calling, right? We have clients who will do cold calls and then connect with those cold calls on social, and it amplifies everything you're doing. So my recommendation is start social media today. Consistent content speaks to that ideal client, and view people as people.
I'm glad that you said that. Great points. In particular, it's not too late, because it can feel like that, right?
It
You can
definitely
feel like you're way behind. But again, I think it goes back to something that you just said a few seconds before that, is like, you're not them. They're not you. It's what matters is your situation.
There's plenty of room here, and you're going for a relationship. So those are pretty endless.
Yep. All right, Lindsey, thank you again. This is fantastic. I appreciate you sharing everything.
Nick, my pleasure. What a blast. Thank you.
Thank you so much for listening. If you found the show valuable, you can say thanks and show your support simply by taking a quick second to like, share, and comment on the show. You can also find more information about each of my guests, all of the resources from the show, and myself at nickberry.info/TBOJ.